Back. So now we can upload files. Let me just show you. If I go into my app right here, I choose a file. As soon as I click a file right here, it'll actually be uploaded to Firebase storage right here. So if I refresh this page, you'll see I have 2 files now instead of 1. And that's kind of the point we're at right now. But the files, they got the name of the actual file that I uploaded. That's fine, but I want to change that. I want instead to have a unique ID for each file. So we're going to try and build that. To do that, the first step I want to do next is I want to go into the database and create a new collection called files that can contain all the metadata for each of my files and give me a unique ID per file. So we're going to talk more about why that is powerful as we start moving forward, but the main goal for me is pretty much that if I have this as unique IDs and I don't have, if I want to rename it, it doesn't matter because it's just a unique ID right here and the name will be inside the database. It'll be a lot easier for me without changing the actual physical file in the storage to rename my file. I'll show you this later, but for now, let's just focus on getting some kind of files collection onto Firestore. How do we do that? Well, let's get into our file service and let's create a new method right here called add file metadata. Metadata. There we go. Now this guy is pretty much just going to receive a file metadata from the outside. So I'll just call it meta right here and I'll call it file metadata because this is the stuff that I kind of want to save. It's the same guy that we have right here that we built earlier. So inside this method, what I want to do is I want to start using my Angular Firestore to kind of upload my first file right here. So I need another reference up here, another dependency injection for the database called Angular Firestore. Not storage, but store, right? So now I have access to my database, Angular Firestore. So next, what I kind of want to do is I want to go and create a new collection. And again, I do that by just adding a new collection right here called files. That's the new collection. That's the path for the guy that I want to create this new metadata in. And the final thing I want to do for now is just pretty much add the meta right here to kind of upload that metadata. Now again, notice I'm getting back some kind of promise that I'm ignoring for now, but we'll fix that in a second. The end goal for my actual method right here is actually going to be that I want to return an observable right here with the file metadata inside it, the actual data that I just saved on Firebase. I kind of want that back so I can show and use that later on. But the main thing inside this guy is actually that I want the ID back. Now we already did that with product, so you can go into your product service if you want to and just check out the add function in there because it's the same goal right here. I want to get the reference for the product that was returned from Firebase, and then I want to kind of use that ID and return the product in the end. So we're going to do the same thing here. Let me just try and do it again so you guys can see it. Step 1, I'm going to convert this guy from a promise. Remember again, this right now is a promise, this call right here. I want to convert that from a promise, that's why I'm using the from observable guy right here, and that converts it into an observable, right? So now I have an observable available. Now that's not enough because the from is going to return an observable, but right now what I want to get back is actually an observable with the file metadata that was created on Firestore. So what I need to do is kind of pipe this to convert it from what it is right now, which is just an observable that returns a document reference. If you check out the documentation right there, I actually instead want to pipe this or convert this into an observable that returns the metadata. So I'll map this data right here like this. What I'm getting right here is a document ref. Let's just call it document ref. There we go. And that document ref, I want to use that to get the ID and add that ID to the metadata that I sent to Firebase, right? So this is the, let me just try and show you here. So this meta right here is actually this guy you see up here that I sent to Firebase in the beginning, this guy, right? And then I'm going to get the reference back and use the ID from that reference and throw it into the ID. And as the final thing, what I'll do is I'll return this new ID that I just changed. There we go. So now I've piped this guy. Now it complains it can't find map. Of course, I need to import that. There we go. So now I've actually taken the document ref that I get back from Firebase and using observables, I've mapped it again like we've done a few times now, and I've changed it so it contains an ID now, and then I return that new meta that was just created on Firebase. So that's it. We now have a new method available that can actually add metadata to Firebase. And we'll use it in the next lesson when we try to upload a file where we actually start adding the metadata to the database before we actually upload the actual file. So that's it for this lesson. See you next time. Have fun.